I get asked about this a lot, so let me talk about it. What do you do if you have a warrant pending? Or what do you do if you find out you have a warrant or you know you have a warrant, right? So let me back up. A warrant at the basic level gives the police the right to arrest you on site. You can have an arrest warrant, because the grand jury said you're guilty of, there's probable cause that you might have committed a crime, so a warrant gets issued. A lot of times when somebody has a warrant, they don't know about it. They don't know about it. So there's different ways people can get arrested, and warrant is one way. But sometimes there's a situation where, let's say a guy and a girl gets into a fight or gets into an argument, right? And the guy leaves and the girl calls the police and says, he hit me, right? The police are going to come to the woman's house, take a report, call the DA's office and say, hey, do you think we have enough to arrest this guy even though he's not here right now? And the DA will say, yeah, and process a warrant. So you'll have a pending case. Now, sometimes people are aware that the cops got called on them, but a lot of times they don't. Like when the government does investigations, let's say somebody's doing some Medicare fraud and you don't know you're being investigated. You might have a warrant out there for you and not even be aware of it, okay? But for these purposes, let's talk about the basic situation where you get a call from a bail bondsman, says, hey man, you have a warrant, okay? Or if you just know you got a warrant out there, you find out you have a warrant. While a warrant is pending, your case is stalled. You can't move forward on it, right? You can't do anything with it. It's on warrant status, so it's not going anywhere, okay? And I'm going to talk about how they take care of it or how they handle it in Texas. If you know you have a warrant, I would say talk to an attorney. And depending on the area and the city you're in, he'll give you the advice for that specific area. But there's a good chance the advice is part of the advice is going to be talk to a bail bondsman, because some people can't afford to lose a day or two of work sitting in jail until they get a bond, right? While a warrant is pending, a judge is not going to give you a bond. You have to turn yourself in. Some people turn themselves into the jail. Some people turn themselves into court. So let's say you know you have a warrant pending. You say, I want to turn myself into court and hopefully get a bond the same day, right? You call the bail bondsman, talk with them, and they'll explain to you what you need to do to set up the process with them. And then a lot of times they'll meet with you in court. And that day when you're in court, hopefully you have an attorney, or hopefully when you get to court, one gets appointed to you. And then at that exact time, you can find out what your bond's going to be, right? When the judge issues a bond at that exact time, then the bail bondsman who's in court and knows you got a bond can go and process the paperwork. It's not a guarantee that the judge is going to automatically give you a bond. Sometimes they might make you sit a week, 2, or 2 months, depending on certain things, depending on the flexibility of what the law allows them to do. But that's why you want to talk to an attorney, because an attorney can tell you, based off this court, based off this situation, let me just come in there. We all going to show up that day, and you'll do what's called a walkthrough bond. That's where your attorney's there, your bail bondsman there, and you're there. You go, turn yourself into the court, and they walk it through. Sometimes the judge will allow the bail bondsman to go with you and just pay the bond, and that way you never have to go to jail, right? But let's say that ain't the situation. Sometimes if you have a warrant, people can just turn themselves in to the jail. And then once you turn yourself in, your court process will get going. Maybe some people turn themselves into the court, show up in court and turn themselves in, and then the court process gets going. But going back to the original question, what do you do if you get a warrant? First, talk to an attorney, right? Talk to an attorney. I'm not saying you hire him. Just talk to him to kind of get an understanding, get a layout of the area and how does this particular court handle these procedures. Because you'll have more than likely you have a warrant out of a particular court. The case will be in one particular court at that point, and the attorney can verify and say, oh, okay, based off this court, this judge does this. And also you want to have a bail bondsman or bail bonds on speed dial, or you talk to them. Now they're in the business, right, to make money. So they're going to say, oh yeah, come, we'll do it, you know. So talk to different ones to get an idea about that. But they'll tell you about their procedure too. Because the attorney can just get an idea what your bond is going to be, but the actual people posting the bond on your behalf is the bail bondman. Because the average person doesn't have money to post the entire bond, so they go to a bail bondman where you only have to pay 10% down, and they take care of the rest. All right? So that's kind of what you got to do when you have a warrant.